The sun was slowly rising. It was the start of another beautiful day. And like every other morning, young Sulayman was watching his father pray.
O Allah, you're compassionate and have mercy on all the creatures. It's only in you that I put my trust, so please answer my prayers.
The prayers of Prophet Dawood were softer and sweeter than a song. They inspired the birds and flowers and trees to join and pray along. Sulayman's father, Dawood, who was a prophet, a Nabi, would try like other prophets to end every quarrel he'd see. And that day, he saw that a farmer and a shepherd had a fight. They needed him to tell them which one of them was right. For the shepherd's naughty sheep had the night before run loose and stumped all over the farmer's harvest, so little was left for use. The farmer had therefore suffered a loss, but the shepherd had little to pay for the cost. Dawood received a revelation. This decision is for your sons to make. Whoever gives the very best judgment, your place you will take. Young Sulayman, who had listened carefully to what the quarrel was about, had so far been quiet, for he was deep in thought. So when Prophet Dawood asked his sons' opinions on how to solve the issue, young Sulayman gave him the very best answer, just as his father knew. For a whole year, this farmer can use the shepherd's sheep. In the sheep's milk and wool, there is profit he can reap. Meanwhile, the shepherd can live on the harvest of the farm, and this way they'll both benefit and none will suffer harm. For both the shepherd and the farmer, this was easy to hear, so they stopped their quarrel, for the judgment was just and fair. So after his father Dawood, as Allah had seen fit, Sulayman became the succeeding prophet. With the order of Allah, he was blessed with power and health, and through Allah's blessings, he had abundant wealth. He could understand and speak in every creature's tongue. Even the jinn were at his service every day, all day long. They'd build impressive palaces and search for treasures far and wide. Others would mine and dig the earth, finding rare and precious gems deep inside. Even the wind would blow as Sulayman would command. It would take him along any time and place he would demand. But having all this never made our Prophet Sulayman proud. He'd call on his Lord both quietly and aloud.
O Allah, without your mercy, all of this would perish. So please help me use everything in accordance with your wish.
One day, Prophet Sulayman and his army, so majestic and grand, were on their way and came across an army of ants on a land. When the ant commander saw Sulayman with his army of men and jinn, he told the ant colony who were outside, "Quick, my fellow ants, back in!" Sulayman heard him and saw the ants rushing back into the earth. So he told their commander, "I'm a prophet of God, and his creatures I won't hurt." The ant commander replied, "I know at your hands we won't be harmed, but the worldly power and glory in your army will have the colony charmed." Sulayman smiled and said, "You're truly worthy of being a guide. May your colony always by your guidance abide." One day, Prophet Sulayman was at his court, deep in thought, when he noticed one of his court's birds was nowhere in sight. He asked the other birds,
Hudhud the hoopoe, where is he?
The peacock said, "We don't know. He's nowhere we can see." Just then, Hudhud flew in, and with little time to spare, he told Sulayman, "Dear Prophet, I have important news to share. I've seen a land called Saba that Allah has blessed with riches. But instead of Allah, its people worship the sun and ask it to fulfill their wishes. And so the people and their queen, it's your help that they need. For Shaitan has beautified their sins and surely they're deceived.
Sulayman said, "O Allah, they've truly been led astray, and it's my duty to help guide them. I must start right away."
He started to write a letter to the Queen of Saba.
"I begin in the name of my Lord, the one and only Allah."
Sulayman's letter was friendly and wise from the beginning to the end. He began and finished in the name of Allah, and then it was time to send. Back in the court of Saba, there was a feast, the greatest ever seen. And in there flew Hudhud and dropped the letter in the lap of the queen. As soon as the queen read the letter through, she gathered her advisors. She said,
"This letter is sent from Sulayman, Jerusalem's ruler. I wonder if he's a just king. I don't know if he's cruel, but here he is inviting us to accept his God's rule."
One advisor said,
"There's no need for us to worry. We're ready to fight if we must, and to protect our glory."
But the queen was very wise. She said,
"We may not need to fight. First, we need to find out if Sulayman is right, for many corrupt kings are in search of riches and land. We should find out if God's worship is truly what he demands. To test him, I must send him back many expensive presents. He will not have any need for them if he's truly a prophet."
The queen's advisors agreed, and nothing was left to say. The presents were given to advisors to take. And they started on their way. When Sulayman saw the gifts, he frowned.
"I have no need for these. I sent you an invitation to worship Allah. It's only him I want to please. Take these presents back to the queen of your land. Tell her that I am a prophet with a mission at hand, and it is my mission to travel near and far and teach people about my Lord wherever they are."
Once the queen heard this, she said, "With Sulayman I must speak. He may truly be a prophet, and I can't know what I don't seek." Soon after, the queen took off with her army of men to visit the court of Prophet Sulayman in Jerusalem. Back in his palace, Prophet Sulayman wanted to make Allah's power known, and he knew the perfect way was to bring to his palace the mighty queen's throne. He told his men and followers,
"For the coming of the queen, we have a surprise. Which one of you can bring her throne here before she arrives?"
A jinn said, "Faster than the wind, your highness. I can travel the land. I'll bring the queen's throne to you in less time than it takes to stand." Then said a pious minister,
"With the power of the Most High, I will bring you the queen's throne in the blink of an eye."
And that's just what he did. A job worthy of applaud. A job that would have made any other ruler too proud. But no, not Sulayman. He said,
"What we've been shown is a reflection of Allah's power, for we have none of our own."
Then, with the same powers, without a moment to spare, Prophet Sulayman commanded for the throne to stay afloat in air. When in the palace of Sulayman, the men of the queen walked. "That's your throne, your majesty," one told her, and everyone was shocked. The queen was awestruck.
"Yes, that's my throne, I fear."
She was shaken quite a bit, for Sulayman's power was clear.
He told her, "You see, often when some rule over a land, they come to believe that everything will go as they command. But now you see that as humans, no matter how hard we try, Allah can take away what He's given us in the blink of an eye."
The queen was deep in thought, for Sulayman's words were wise, and the miracles were clear. No magic tricks, no lies. For this was no human power, and the queen was already impressed. But soon, she was about to be shocked even more with what she witnessed. For quite unexpectedly, when in the main hall she stepped, she felt she'd stepped right in water and would surely get wet.
Prophet Sulayman smiled and said, "Don't worry, for this is not a river. This hall is made of clear glass, and water is flowing under. All these are just worldly riches, and though they can deceive, we know that Allah's created all, and in Him we believe."
By now, the queen was shaken. Her knees were weak and bent.
She fell down in prostrations and said, "To Allah I repent. For all this time I was arrogant, thinking I can rule all. But now that I have seen His strength, I feel ever so small."
And that's how the Queen of Saba learned how to be truly grand, by worshiping none but Allah and following His commands. From then on, she guided her people toward what truly matters, to seek Allah's satisfaction so they live happily ever after.